What's up, everybody? This is Whisky in the Six. I'm Rob with my buddy Jeremy from Super Social Club.
What's up, everyone? How's it going?
So we have quite a few Old Pultneys to share tonight.
We got a Pulteney range.
Yeah. They're set up in front of you guys according to the boxes behind us. All right. We don't have a pedestal to put these bad boys up on. So we got the 15 with Jeremy's finger on. Now that's the 17 there. The 18-year-old. Next up is the 21-year-old. And then the 25-year-old. Now, the 17 and 21 were around for some time. And then 2019, they decided to do a remake of the box and come up with new age statements. So they changed it from 12, 17, 21 to 12, 15, 18, 25, which is more along what other companies are doing, I guess.
Standard Scotch range of age statements, I suppose. Now, was it 2019 they did it or 2018?
I could have, well, you know what? It might be the end of 2018 that they did it.
I think it was.
Yeah, it could have been the end of 2018. It's, as a teacher, I always find it hard to grasp which year these things happen in, because the end of the year for me is still 2019. So anyway, we digress already. We're late because we're figuring out some stuff with a Springbank 25-year-old 2019 that Jeremy, myself, Jasper, and Paulo split. So we're hoping to have a dram tonight, but it might not happen on camera because we still have some work to do.
You think it'd be easy to split up a bottle 4 ways, but it's not, because the measuring cup was not accurate.
I don't know who made it. I don't know what country that measuring cup comes from, but it's not accurate at all. We measured out 100. It's a 700 milliliter bottle. We measured out 175 milliliters each, and there was still.
Yeah, we were short. We were somehow short.
We were over. We were over. Or
well,
no,
we had too much left over.
Exactly.
We didn't have exactly. It didn't split 4 ways.
That's right. Someone had their thumb on the scale. Yeah, I guess it's possible. So a bunch of guys in the chat. Guys, if you can do your best to highlight us when you have a question or something like that, just because it's difficult. We have the computer further back so that we can get as much of these in the shot as possible. So a bunch of people in the chat. Kenneth says, "What's up? How's it going, buddy?" Go have saying date night. Absolutely. Whenever Jeremy's around, it's always a date night. Tom R saying hello. What's up? What's up, buddy? And Peter White was the one to say that someone's thumb was on the scale. So we're going to start with the 15 on my right. I hope that appears to you guys as your left, but I never know with Google Hangouts because it looks, I think it's your left. Yeah, I was correct in my prediction. All right. So, all right, let's do these. Claire the Third is saying, let's go Bucks. 27-20 right now. All right, starting with the 15. This is mostly ex-bourbon cask, I believe. Matured in hand-selected fine oak, ex-bourbon casks, and Spanish oak casks, gently absorbing the distinct sea air for 15 years.
Now, we had these on a live when Jasper was over here. These are Jasper's bottles, by the way. He graciously lent them to us to taste and review. He poured like pretty much all of these for us that night, didn't he? I remember I had 5 Glencairns in one hand.
It wasn't planned. We had already had a whole bunch of drinks, and then he poured all these drinks for us.
So I was just about to say, you know, I've never even had the 15 before, but I have had it. I just don't remember drinking it. I'm only familiar really with the 17 and the 21, the 2 older ones.
So we've tried all of these technically, but you don't remember drinking much because the 15 I remember the least because I don't think I've gone back to it at all. I have gone back to the 25, and we had a chance to try the 25 at the Spirit of Toronto last year,
2018, which I thought was the spirit of the show. I thought that was my favorite of everything I had that night.
Yeah. Go Habs is saying, who sucks more, the Leafs or the Raptors? I'm going to say probably the Leafs because the Raptors are in the semifinals. The match
Boy, Jason just threw down some super chat.
Boom, Old Pulteney rules. Thank you, Jason. You rule, buddy. The nose is beautiful on this.
You definitely get that sea air saltiness. I love that.
Yeah.
I just took a sip. Palate, like chocolate. Must be from that sherry cask.
Mm.
Get a really nice chocolate note there.
Yeah, I definitely get it. It's like a
bitter, you want to say bitter chocolate?
Yeah, I was gonna say dark chocolate.
Yeah.
But on the nose, I'm getting like a little bit of like a hint of a melon type note. Really nice. The 15 is actually really nice. 46%, unchill filter, no added color. Old Pultneys, you never could tell that they're also encouraged, I guess you could say, because they're always very pale in color.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, depends on the cask, but there's a good chance that they're refill casks, yeah?
I would think so. I mean, judging by the color, I don't know if you can see that very well.
Let's hold that right up. So this is the 15 that we're doing. Color is pretty pale. You can see right through it. And you want to give them a better look at that bottle. That's the 15, guys.
46% ABV. All of these are bottled at 46.
So obviously this one's going to be the cheaper of the range. Well, there's the 12-year-old as well that comes in around, I think, depending on where you are, between $50 and $80, depending on which part of the country you're in Canada or what country you're in generally. I think the 15 is just over $80 on average.
That's nice. That's really nice whiskey. What are we saying on peat levels in these? Just, are they slightly peated at all?
If they are, it's like 5.
It's really low.
It's like 5 ppm. It's very, if you're a peat guy, you will not detect peat. Like, I'm not getting much. Maybe on the finish, there's like something.
A little bit of smokiness, maybe.
And then I always say, like, that ocean spray kind of element always tricks me into thinking that it might be a little bit peated.
Yeah, I could see that. Like, even like, you know, like a charred barrel with that ocean saltiness could translate to some kind of peat.
Yeah, absolutely. BB Jap in the house saying, what's up? We're feasting on your bottles here, my friend.
Jasper, thank you, man.
For those of you just joining us, we got the 15-year-old, 17-year-old, 18-year-old, 21-year-old, and 25-year-old Old Pultney. So a little bit of old and new, and we're going to tell you which ones we like best. So right now I'm really enjoying that 15, but I'm going to put her down so we can move on.
That's good.
And I'm going to grab actually my water. And we're gonna dial some of this down for those of you that are interested in just the tasting. We're gonna try to trim it down a little bit, or at least give bullet points for the times to look for.
This is the one that I'm familiar with, the old 17-year-old. This is where I get like that melon note that you mentioned before.
Yeah,
big time on this for sure. Like cantaloupe or like what's the green one?
Go Habs is saying, any news on the new 12 price and ABV? I think it's lower in ABV. I want to say it's 43%. I could be wrong.
Look it up.
We'll look it up for you. And I believe, like I said, they come in anywhere between like $55 and $80, depending on where you are in the country. I think in Ontario it's close to $80. The 17-year-old is, I believe, the only one with a PX influence. That's the case right there. For those of you that don't know, but this is pretty old. It's been around for quite some time. It's won awards as early as 2014, and it's ex-American and ex-Spanish casks, but I believe the Spanish casks in this particular case is PX.
Just to go back before, the Old Pultney 12-year-old is bottled at 40% ABV, 40, $75 here in Ontario, Canadian. I'll check Total Wine, see what they sell it for.
So compared to the 15, I find the nose is a touch more muted. I don't know about you, but I'm not getting as much of a punch on the nose. Like I don't get all the fruits that I was getting out of that 15.
I guess like as far as intensity, it's maybe back a bit, but I get more fruit.
Do you?
Yeah. Yeah. This is the one that I bought a bottle of this not too long ago. This has been discontinued. And you can still find some of them around, eh? The 17s?
Yeah, there are still some around. Way more than the 21, that's for sure. Tamar asks, what is west of Westeros?
Total Wine in the States selling the Old Pulteney 12 for $45.99 US.
Is the ABV different there?
Let me double check. That's not telling me.
What does it say?
It could be one of those things where like UK and Canada gets it at 40 and then the States get it at 43.
Yep.
Let me zoom in on the bottle.
So Peter White's saying the best part of Old Pultney 21.
43.
43.
43.
So I did feel like it was 43, and
Those
that's because
fuckers.
right? We always get screwed.
Yeah.
But it's also possible. I want to like put out a disclaimer here that the LCBO got it wrong on their website because that happens a lot as well.
LCBO gets a lot wrong a lot of the time.
Yeah. Peter White's saying the best part of the Old Pultney 21 was trading it for Four Roses 125th anniversary.
Oh, that's a good trade.
It's a solid trade. Okay, go pallets as you
Let's
did.
go palate. Yeah, great whiskey. I love that. All those like waxy fruits.
Oh yeah.
Even maybe like banana, mango.
There is some like definitely like tropical fruit in there.
Tropical fruit.
And it's sweeter maybe a little bit on the palate.
Mm-hmm.
And the finish is just phenomenal.
Yeah, it's a good whiskey.
Yeah.
If you can find this 17 still kicking, I'd pick it up. So
for the longest time, the 17-year-old was about $130. Didn't matter where you bought it. I don't know if the LCBO had it. If they did, it was a little bit more. I bought my bottle. When I bought a bottle, it was from the UK. That was back when my brother-in-law was living in the UK, and I was able to get the 17-year-old. Actually, I don't think the LCBO ever had it.
No, okay.
But this is awesome. I've always loved the 17-year-old, and this just like confirms that right now.
Do you think this versus the Kleinleash 14 would be a good comparison? I feel like some similar notes.
They're definitely similar. Yeah.
In there.
I'm not getting as much like of a waxy note as I would from a Kleinleash. I'm getting more like fresh fruit and like something sweeter than what I'm. But yeah, I can definitely see what you're saying. It's that saltiness too that goes hand in hand with Kleinleash.
I think you can tell that Pulteney's sourcing some pretty good ex-bourbon barrels.
Yeah.
To get those tropical fruit flavors coming out like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And they do a very good job. Like I said, you can't tell by the color how old any of these would be.
Right.
They do a very good job of making sure that the sherry influence is not overpowering.
Yeah. Would you mainly say like a 70-30 split? Something like that?
Probably. Yeah. Or it's just like whatever sherry cask they're using, they've used.
Using refills.
Yeah, they've used like a second or third fill, maybe fourth fill. Which in this case works really well because the distillery characteristic is very nice. You're moving on?
Yeah.
So that's really nice.
This is the 18.
The 18, I'm going to say is a little bit more expensive. It's closer to like a 180. I'm getting like a very different nose here.
Very different. I'm getting like cocoa powder, like Nestle Quick powder.
Yeah. Yeah. That's actually a great description. Or like one of those breakfast cereals that are chocolate based.
Cocoa Puffs.
Cocoa Puffs, yeah.
Or Count Chocula, or what are those other ones?
Yeah, Count Chocula is the popular one. Lucky Charms has a chocolate version of that as well.
Okay.
Actually, there's also a Reese's peanut butter
And
cereal,
yeah.
which kind of what I'm getting here, like that Reese's peanut butter cup on the nose.
The United States has all the crazy good cereal. I remember going there and just the cereal aisle was just so vast as far as like kid forward cereals, like sugar cereals.
Mm-hmm. I would say that this one definitely. So far, all three are American Oak Ex Bourbon and Spanish Oak casks. On the box, they don't go ahead and actually tell you how much or if it's first fill or second fill. I'm assuming again it's refill, but I would say that there's a higher portion of Spanish oak on this one, just judging by the nose. And there's something farm-like on this nose as well, which is interesting. I wonder if there's more peat in this one.
You get some spice, like pepper, on the finish on this one.
Did we show the bottle?
No, I didn't.
So that's the 18 right there, guys.
I like their new label design. I like the new boxes. Boxes are kind of cool.
Yeah.
Kind of like more sturdy cardboard, square instead of like round. A nice little top.
She was getting mad at me, telling me I needed a haircut. What is it about whiskey in the six that people feel the need to comment on the appearance?
You gotta comment on your appearance all the time. Shirt's too small, hair's too long.
Claire the Third saying that the Old Pulteney 21 is 152 American there. That's a great price. That's an excellent price. Because like the secondary value of that is like around $300 now.
Is it getting up there?
It could be even more than that. I think this is about $170 in some provinces, maybe a little bit more.
Okay, so it's like 140 US.
Yeah. So I would say probably 140 US up to and around $200 Canadian, depending on where you are. On the palate, that's really nice. Incredibly smooth, but it's got that nice brininess on the finish. I'm mostly chocolate here. A lot of cocoa.
Spice.
Yeah, there's definitely some like Spanish oak spice involved in that.
So if you're in New Jersey, you can buy the Old Pultney 17 for $99.99 at Total Wine in stock.
Great price.
In stock.
That's a great price. Head to head with the 17. I don't know which one I like better right now. They're very different. I like the nose on the 17 maybe a little bit better. It's a little bit more fresh fruit.
Mm-hmm.
This is more like farm-like note, and then the chocolate note, or like milk. Like I said, Cocoa Puffs with milk added. Get that dairy element to it.
Jasper, Total Wine has Old Pultney 30-year-old for $500 US.
Also a great price. It's nice.
Yeah, it's very different than the 17.
It's much more full-bodied on the palate.
Mm-hmm. I love it. I really like it.
Yeah. Farm-like notes. You got that brininess, that salty like finish. A lot of chocolate. I don't know if there's peat in there, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's a little bit more in this one than the ones that we've tried so far.
It'd be interesting to see like the ppm levels, because you're right. It definitely is like single digits, you would think, right?
This could be at maybe 10.
Right.
Maybe 10. Yeah. But I mean, I've been wrong when it comes to ppm before, so
guessing ppm is difficult, right? Because like Octomore, you're in like the 200 sometimes.
Yeah.
And it's not as peated as like an Ardbeg, which is like 60 or whatever. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
So it all depends on the distillation.
There's different styles of like heating barley, right? So it will change the taste for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're on to the 21.
Oh, that nose is so good.
The classic 21 right here. This is a fan favorite. I think a lot of people are obsessed with this.
Yeah.
One Jim Murray's Whiskey
Oh,
of
he
the
did get a
year,
whiskey of the year back in, it was like probably
2012.
Okay, yeah.
Says it right here on the.
Okay.
I'm not memorizing dates.
I'm like, man, you know that well.
Again, this one is ex bourbon, and guess it. You might know this.
Ex bourbon and what?
Ex Fino sherry.
Oh, a Fino, nice. No, I would not have guessed that, but now that you mention it,
It's definitely different than the others.
I haven't put my nose to a Fino sherry in a long time.
The last one I did was a
I
Cavallon.
was gonna say a Cavallon, but I love Fino sherry. Like, there's a lot of good Fino sherry stuff.
That's really nice.
Jasper saying 15% off till Sunday.
Of? Oh, the
Craft sellers.
Craft sellers. I don't shop at craft sellers. Man, the nose here, I think, so far is the winner. But then again, I think I've said that almost.
You said it here.
17, yeah. Okay. Go palate.
Let's go palate. Now I'm getting like some of that cocoa on this one too, or chocolate.
This one's super salty. Way saltier than the others. And you know what? Fino sherry is also known to have a salty characteristic to it. So that could be contributing to the fact that the 21-year-old is super salty as well. Chris Beaton saying, howdy, folks. What's up, buddy? Nice to see you. Looks like we have a few in the chat tonight. I'm just not really sure how many because for whatever reason, I never know.
Let me see if I can. 43, I think.
Nice.
Yeah, this is good. I mean, this whole range is good, man.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with an Old Pulteney. Maybe if it's a 40% 12-year-old, you can go wrong. But that's only if you live in Ontario.
Or the UK. Like Master of Malt has the 40% on their website.
That's offside.
I don't know how the UK. That's
a slap in the face.
That's ridiculous because I don't know, why do they do that? Why do distilleries do that?
I guess like it's statistical bias, right? Like they say, oh, they're American, so they must like strong whiskey because they like strong bourbons.
Because bourbon is usually like 45 or up.
45 and up, right? So we can't sell anything less than 43 in the United States. It will not move, which is bullshit.
It's a valid like discussion though. I mean that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm guessing. Like that's just my guess. Like I'm thinking it's statistical bias, but I could be wrong. I guess the comparison is what's popular in the UK. Well, gin is super popular in the UK, usually bottled at 40%. Johnny Walker is very popular globally, but probably especially in the UK, especially in bars, usually bottled at 40%. Canadian whiskey is usually bottled at 40%. I don't know. There's logic behind it, I guess.
I mean, it happens a bit in Canada as well. Like distilleries like, Crown Royal will ship off some good exports at higher ABVs in the States or wherever else.
Absolutely.
Look at Blanton's in the States. There's their special reserve, the gold, the straight from the barrel, not sold in the States.
Which is crazy. There's a huge cult following for Blanton's. Huge cult following. Steve A, what's up, buddy? Tamar is saying, Rob, you need to get a bottle of Stroma Malt Whiskey Liqueur by Old Pultney. It is a nice change.
Ooh.
You know what? I like liqueurs, especially like those cream-based liqueurs in my coffee. So that would be pretty cool. I'd be interested to try that for sure.
Tamar says that Blanton's hates the USA. Yeah, they really do.
I guess so.
They really do. You think there's got to be at some point in time where they release that stuff in the States, no?
I don't know.
Man.
I don't know. I mean, maybe they're like, if you go to the distillery and you ask nicely, I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know. I've never been. I would love to go to Buffalo Trace, though. That'd be.
We
cool.
need to go to Kentucky because it's
do
not
the whole Bourbon Trail.
Yeah, like based on what Jason from the Master Drum was saying, like it takes 6.5 hours from his door to my door. So 6.5 hours plus an hour and change to get to Kentucky. We're looking at what? Let's say all in 8 hours.
Drive down there.
Yeah, we should do it.
Yeah.
DJ saying kind of like over half of the Blanton's versions are not sold in the U.S. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. That's offside.
It's very offside.
Last but not least, we got the 25-year-old. After we do this one, guys, we're going to go and say which is our favorite, which is maybe like one that you could probably avoid if you don't like whatever, like, you know, care for it. Something along those lines. That's the box. It's a little nicer than the others. Okay. Opens like this. It's nothing special though. Like it's just cardboard, just fancy cardboard, I guess.
Right. I appreciate boxes like that because you know you're not paying, you know, a large price just for the box, which I usually end up recycling anyway because I have no room for them.
Yeah,
once the bottle's open, I got no use for it.
You don't want to start the Quig wall of boxes.
No, my girlfriend wouldn't allow that to happen. I would love that to happen though.
Right?
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. I would like if I had like a man cave. Oh, I do. I guess I could do like but it's Quigs, man. Like
I wonder how many times Quig has knocked that thing over.
So this is aged firstly in American oak. It's spicy sweetened. I don't have to read that because you guys can be the judge of that. And colored by casks of Spanish oak. So again, nothing super specific. There's a combination of ex-American, ex-Spanish casks in all of these. The 17 Spanish casks are PX, and the 21 is Fino Sherry. So that's the difference. Did we show the bottle already? I'll show it one more time if we haven't. That's the 25, guys. All right.
Now, a lot more sherry influence on the nose for me on this one.
Oh, yeah. The nose is very distinct. That screams age.
Yeah. Yeah, that's nice. First time we had this, 2018 Spirit of Toronto. Really, really good stuff.
And for it to leave a lasting impression after having the amount of alcohol that we consumed that night.
Yeah, because that wasn't like...
No, that was one of the later
That was
drams.
more than halfway through the show, I think.
This year's Spirit of Toronto, we had some pretty crazy stuff. Like there were some cool gems. Some really old rums that were cask strength.
Yeah, old,
like 40-year-old
like
rums.
Blended rums that were really good. There was an independent bottle of a Lafroig 25-year-old that was really nice.
Cask strength, that was
cask
crazy.
strength 25-year-old Lafroig, really, really good. There's one other one that I thought was really good too. I forget.
Okay, so for me, this 25 smells most like the 17, just less sharp, more refined. Let me know if you agree.
I don't know. I don't think I totally agree. I think that the 25, I'm not picking up the fresh
fruit,
tropical fruit that I get in the 17.
Yeah, like I feel like this is definitely the older version of that.
Right.
And you will lose a lot of that fresh fruit in that extra
and like
aging.
more sweetness in the 17.
Yeah, but it's also like sharper on the nose when you bring it to your nose.
Yeah,
like a little bit more alcohol forward. This is super like light on the nose. These are going for what? $500 Canadian?
That's so good.
That's really nice.
That is so good. I don't know. Is that what it is? 500 Canadian.
It's about 500 Canadian.
So what is that like? 385 US.
Yeah, it depends where you buy it, of course. I'm just gonna double check my source.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I like every single one of these whiskeys.
Yeah.
They all have a little bit different elements to them. I think the 18 is really the one that stands out as being most different.
I agree with that. The 18 is actually about $150.
Okay.
The 15 is about $100, and the 25 is $500. I was correct about that. You can get the 1983 for $900 in Canada.
I've heard the 1983 is a freaking great whiskey. You know what? Subtract the 25-year-old. All of these that's a great price for those whiskeys.
Yeah, no, they're
at
very
46% ABV. Yeah. I'm assuming they're non-chill. I don't know if it's chill filtered or not, but no color added.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, they're definitely unchill filtered. They're all 46, right? I would assume anyway. I'm pretty sure it says it somewhere too.
I'm not sure if Old Pultney filters or not, but anyway, if they do, you can't taste it. Like these have great viscosity to them.
Yeah. Nova Scotia has Old Pulteney 35-year-old for $1,000.
35-year-old.
So I agree with you 100%. I would buy all of these, and the price is phenomenal. The 21 for me was the one that I would walk away from in the past. I would not pay the secondary price for the 21, but I could understand why people would.
Mm-hmm.
Like that pheno definitely gives it a different element.
The thing about the secondary as soon as it was like this is discontinued, then boom, secondary prices just skyrocket.
Which is, yeah.
You look at bourbon, I think like that E.H. Taylor 4 grain, they're like, we're not making this anymore.
Yeah.
Secondary prices just shot up.
Skyrocket.
It was like $700 for that. It was
Crazy.
Like around $450.
Insane. Kev, what's going on, buddy? Nice to see you. 29K, or no, sorry.
2,900.
2,900 for the 40-year-old.
I mean, this 25-year-old is great stuff.
Okay, so you guys heard it from us that we would probably buy any of these, depending, like, you know, the original price of the 17-year-old and 21-year-old is bonkers. Like,
great value.
The fact that you can get both of those under $150 at one time was stupid.
Yeah.
The 15-year-old at $100 might be my only one that would make me think twice.
Now that I'm going back to it, it is definitely my least favorite on the nose of the remaining four.
Absolutely, least favorite on the nose. So I would say if you're gonna avoid the 15, in my opinion, because although it's great on the palate, it's a good whiskey all around, 46%. There are better whiskeys that you can buy for under $100, I think. Like, for example, the Glendronach 12-year-old, I would probably take over that. The Glengoyne 15-year-old, I'd probably still take over that.
Okay.
Right? There's actually, if you can get a Springbank 12-year-old, they fly off the shelf, but I would take that over that as well for the same price almost, right? So maybe not a fair comparison, but I think out of all of them, the only one that I'd probably walk away from is the 15-year-old. Do you know your rankings? Or you're not sure yet?
It's hard because they're all really close. The finish on the 15 is actually pretty decent.
No, it's a good whiskey. They're all great whiskeys. If this was $20 less, I'd say instant buy. But because of that extra $25, I probably wouldn't. I probably wouldn't pay $100 for that whiskey. I'd rather use that whiskey money for more. I'd rather like put in the extra whatever and grab the 17 if it was still on the shelf. You know what I mean?
This is still on the shelf.
It is for about $150.
$100 US.
$100 US, 150 in Alberta.
Yeah, run out and get that.
Yeah, that's a steal.
Yeah,
and it used to be less than 130 when it was like readily available.
Good value, really good value.
This is also $150. All right, I know my rankings. Are you ready, or do you want me to go first?
You go first.
Okay, just one more. Man, that's good. The one the palate. Okay, so obviously I gave away my least favorite is the 15. It's still very good, but I'd rather spend the extra 40, 50 bucks and grab one of these two here. I'm gonna say that these two come in nearly neck and neck. They're very different whiskeys. So that's the 17 and 18-year-old right here. Very, very different. The 18-year-old, if you put these two side by side blind to me, I would not guess that they're both from the same company.
Yeah.
I would not guess that.
Yeah, they're very different.
They're extremely different. It's almost, the 18 is almost the one that doesn't belong, right? Because the four here have a very similar characteristic to it. Then all of a sudden you get this 18-year-old that's like super chalky chocolate type elements and just very different, which I really like about that. So if I have to choose one, I'm gonna say 5th place comes the 15. I would say that the 21 is probably 4th place. And the only reason I think the 21 is 4th place is because for what it's going for on secondary right now, I'd rather pick these two up that are readily available at 150 than spend the extra 200 bucks to get the 21. But it is, if you're not including price, it might edge these two out as far as quality goes. Then I'm going to go with the 17 in 3rd, 18th in 4th, and then the 25 in, sorry, opposite. So 17 in 3rd, 18 in 2nd, and then the 25 in 1st. The 25 is not a fair comparison. It's really expensive. The gems for me here are these two right here. That's the 17 and 18. I think price-wise, the quality doesn't drastically improve when you move to the 21. It definitely doesn't drastically improve when you move to the 25, although it does improve. It definitely improves. But for me, I like a little bite to my whiskey, so I don't mind settling for one of these two here.
Very good. I'm going to pick my favorite, and then I'm going to pick my most value. So the 25 is the best whiskey, without a doubt. It's 25 years old. It's really, really nice whiskey. Best value, 17. For sure, 17. You can still find this for $100 US on the shelf. Without a doubt, it's an easy buy. Then from there, the 18 is real different, but also really awesome.
Yeah.
So I would probably go 18 with my next pick. It's kind of in the middle of good whiskey plus value. Then go 21. If you can still find this for close to retail, I don't know. You can probably still find it on the shelf.
In the US, you can find it.
Yeah.
So Claire there was saying it's 150. So at 150,
yes.
Yeah, that's a crazy buy. I would buy that probably over all of that, right, because you're not going to find it. It's rare. Like, you'll find this 18 for years to come.
Yeah.
You won't find the 21 anymore.
Yeah. And the 15 would be a pass. I think that for the less money, I think you'd rather just spend more and get one of the other ones. Not that there's anything wrong with the 15. It's really good whiskey, but yeah, I mean, just spend the extra money and get something that's gonna bump it up.
Absolutely.
That much more.
Yeah,
for sure.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it for that. What are you guys drinking tonight? Has anybody tried any of these? What were your favorites? Let's hear from you guys a little bit now that we have some time.
I'm interested to Peter White. What your favorite Pulteney as you've had? I would love to try those other like one-offs, like 1983. They've got a bunch of other ones that I was looking at.
I actually, I had a smokier version of like a Nas Old Pultney. I just can't remember which one it was. It was pretty good.
They had a bunch of vintage years. Like I'm just looking at Total Wine. They have a 1988. They have a 1997. A bunch of NAS ones I haven't tried yet either.
So One Lost Cause is drinking Longrow 14-year-old. Andrew is drinking Brooklady Isla Barley 2008.
Nice.
Chris hasn't had any of the Old Pulteney at the moment, so Chris Beaton hasn't tried Old Pulteney yet. Sorry, it's 2007 for Andrew, not 2008. Kenneth is drinking the Bunnahabhain 12-year-old. That's a classic, awesome whiskey. I heard some places they dropped the ABV on that. Is that true?
I haven't heard that.
If they did, it's a shame because at 46%, that stuff is, well, it's not quite 46%.
45.8?
Is it 45.8 or
Something
is it
like that.
46.3?
Something like that.
One or the other. Either way, it's phenomenal. Go Habs drinking 11 Souls. That's probably one of the better Canadian whiskeys that there is.
Yeah, I thought it was decent. I don't know. I think the what was the other one?
The
other Northern
Pikes
Border.
Creek?
Pikes Creek I like better, I think. The new Pikes Creek. You didn't try this at Spirit Toronto.
No, I didn't.
You had to leave early.
I had to leave.
But the new Pikes Creek, really, really nice whiskey.
It's Oloroso.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Spanish
Oloroso. We actually only poured like quarter drams, guys. So he's actually not drunk. I think is the fumes from pouring out the 25-year-old
just how I talk. Usually I cut and then hit record again when I do my review.
Peter White's drinking Little Book 2. DJ's drinking OE 117 bourbon tonight. OE.
OE is Old English in my books. I don't know. Eagle Rare. No. I don't know.
That I don't know. Sue is drinking Mac 12 GR, 45.7%. Grand Reserva. Ooh, nice, buddy. That sounds delicious. That I would love to try.
I've always wanted those.
Oh, Old Ezra. My bad.
Old Ezra.
I should have known that. I have a bottle.
I've always wanted to get those Grand Reservas, but the auction prices are just crazy. Like I can't justify buying them at auction because it's way too much money.
They're creeping up to like what, like $1,000 now?
I don't know what they are. Like the 12s go for they don't go for that much, but they're like 250, 300 pounds or something like that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And then the 18s are just, I don't even know how much they go for, but it's way too much money. It's way too much.
Yeah. For a 12-year-old whiskey and like what, a couple more percent. I'm guessing that the Grand Reserva is like mostly first fill sherry cask. Yeah. It's probably delicious.
I think they're only released in like the Asian market.
Yeah, it's like Taiwanese whiskey.
Yeah. Lucky bastards over there.
What are you gonna do?
Pay secondary prices, or don't drink it.
It's first fill, yeah. It's first fill. I'm very curious. I want to see if one day I can possibly get my hands on a Macallan single cask, exceptional single cask, 12-year-old. Like I don't want anything more than 12-year-old. I don't need to go crazy. I just want to try, like tasting that single cask, Glengoyne, the 12-year-old that we've tried.
Mm-hmm.
I can just imagine how good the Macallan one would be. Because that Glengoyne one is bonkers.
Yeah. Did you see the dummies did the whole lineup at that bar?
Yeah. Like,
that's
the
awesome.
dummies right now just experience like
the dummy, yeah.
the coolest whiskey experience you can ever have.
They're just freaking living the pipe dream.
That's it.
But that steakhouse they went to, I think the guy said that you can do the whole range for like $120. That's insane.
It's nothing.
I commented, I'm like, here's the secondary prices on those. They're like, they all go for $2,000 to $4,000 US for the cheaper ones. The first one goes for like $25,000. The entire range of 7 bottles sold for $46,000. And Scott just commented, he's like, "Whoa." Like I don't know if they really realized that like those were the secondary prices on those bottles they just drank. Like insane.
Yeah.
Insane.
Well, we looked into getting 1 or 2. And I think it was the 21-year-old that was available to us. And they're like, yeah, for the low price of $7,000 retail, you can buy this bottle. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna have to pass.
Yeah, it's completely not worth
I'm
it.
gonna have to pass. Sorry.
Well, our good friend Narby tried a couple of them, and he told me that he liked the older bottlings of the Macallan 25 more. So like the ones that were released, mid 2000s. He said he liked those more.
Yeah, I mean, that always sucks to hear because like those are like unicorns. You'll never see them. You'll never like you want to buy them on auction and like mortgage your house.
You can probably find them for like $3,000-ish. So about the same price as you're gonna buy the cheaper Macallan exceptional cask for the 12-year-old.
Yeah.
You're getting a 25-year-old whiskey. It's bottled at 43%.
Right.
Not cask strength, but he said he liked those older ones better.
Mm.
But I think he's tried 2 of the exceptional casks.
Okay.
So I'm not sure. Speaking about Narby, tomorrow night he's going to be on my live. Tomorrow night, 9 o'clock, going live. It's the 10,000 subscriber celebration on my channel. It's going to be awesome. Rob's going to be there. A couple special guests, including Narby from Malt Reviews. We're cracking some Baroras tomorrow, so
yeah,
very blessed in the whiskey world right now.
Yeah,
nice stuff.
Jeremy sent the Green Bay Packers to like crush down the door for 10,000. He's like already at like 10-3. That was like last week, I think. Not even.
Yeah, last week.
So Narby's gonna be there.
Yeah.
One of your like lesser guests, Rob, will be there.
Jasper's gonna come by.
Jasper's coming by.
He's bringing his Barora 35-year-old. I have a Barora 38. Like it's just gonna be awesome. Another good friend of ours, Devin. He's gonna come around too because he actually helped acquiring that bottle for me, and I'll tell that story tomorrow night. So if you're available tomorrow night, 9 o'clock Eastern time, check out my channel.
Yeah, it's gonna be a blast. I'm pretty excited for it, obviously. I actually want to make sure that night I don't have anything else. I just want to enjoy those 2 Baroras. Yeah. That's it. Because it's a once in a lifetime dram. Like you're probably not going to get another chance to drink another Barora after that bottle, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, maybe, but unlikely.
I've had a Barora before. There's a really good whiskey bar in Toronto called the Feathers Pub. They had an independent bottling of a Barora. I think it was 28 years old. It was distilled in 1974. Awesome whiskey.
Yeah.
So good. I think it was like $55 for a pour. So reasonable if you compare it to other things.
Yeah, absolutely. $55 for a pour of Barora is a steal.
Yeah.
It's a steal.
Yeah.
Like, well, we calculated the cost of what the Springbank cost us. So was it the Springbank that we were talking about? What was it?
Yeah, Springbank 25.
Springbank 25? No, it was the Barora. And the cost on a Barora 1 ounce is
an ounce of Barora.
Basically $110.
Yeah.
So that's the cost. That's not a bar pour.
Right.
The bar pour on a Barora
times 3 or 4.
Right? At least, if not more.
Yeah.
Right? So you're looking at probably $400. Maybe they won't jack it up as much as they would jack up like regular bottles because they know that like it's not likely to be sold.
But we'll be giving away a sample of that tomorrow. So stay tuned.
So there's about 50 of you in the chat right now. I expect to see at least this exact 50 because you just heard right now you have a chance to win a sample of Jeremy's 38-year-old Barora. So I don't know. I don't think too many channels are giving away 38-year-old Barora.
No. Sharing is caring.
So WP, are you tasting Got Whiskey? I'll get my winter fry.
Yeah.
We're drinking Old Pulteney. We finished the tasting. I think we almost agreed fully, right? In first place was the 25 for me. Second place, maybe like a tie almost, but I think I went with I can't remember, the 17 or 18. 18, then 17, then 21, then 15. So
Peter White saying, "What? No Surge tomorrow?" I would love to have Surge on the show. That would be freaking crazy.
That would be insane.
Surge actually is credited with the explosion of the Barora, underground, not really underground, but like the popularity of that distillery.
Yeah.
Because his reviews obviously are, taken as the gospel for the most part.
And
in the whiskey world.
Rightly so. Like the guy's reviewed, I don't even know how many hundreds and hundreds of whiskeys. If not, like we're in the thousands.
He's like, I don't even know. He's over 3,000, I think. Or maybe more than
crazy.
That. Maybe more than that.
Yeah, that's insane. And I want to know what his thought process is now approaching a whiskey, because like we all have that whiskey that we reviewed that we regret. Like looking back or trying it again, we're like, ooh, I was too hard on that whiskey, or ooh, I gave that way too high a mark. So I wonder what Surge would do to all his scores if he could retry everything now, right? Because we all evolve. So he's had thousands of whiskeys. From that first one he reviewed to now, his palate's completely changed.
Absolutely.
So if he were to try them all over again, how much would he adjust each mark?
I mean, like he's tried, like if you look at Whiskey Base, the top 100, he's reviewed every single one of those whiskeys.
That's insane.
Like, he's tried everything that's amazing and that you only dream about. Unless your malt reviews, and then you have a couple.
And then you have them. And then you have them.
And you have them on your shelf,
open.
Okay, VV just said the Surge has 14,557 whiskeys reviewed. That's insane.
Only very.
I'm like, yeah, like 3,000-4,000. Like, no, 14.
I said hundreds.
Fucking thousand.
Only varying viewpoints would know the exact number of reviews. Actually, it's probably like right at the top of his website.
Kevin, check out whiskeyfun.com. That's where his reviews are. He is the godfather.
Yeah. Whiskey Fun. And then his buddy Ruben does a good job of reviewing whiskey as well.
The guest reviewer. Is that his name, Ruben?
So he's not a guest reviewer on that site. I think he's, I forget what the site is. It's a different site completely. But he does them as well. He does a bunch.
No,
actually,
that's not his name. Who does Surge bring in as the guest? Like sometimes he has the reviews on there. It's not Ruben, is it?
There's a guy named Ruben that Narby always talks about. That's also friends with Surge,
okay,
but he has his own site.
Okay.
So actually, Peter White would know what the Ruben site is. I don't know.
That 17 is good. 17. You can see this on the shelf. Buy it for sure.
Angus is Surge's
Angus.
buddy.
That's who I'm thinking.
But that's not who I was talking about. I'm talking
Okay.
about a guy named Ruben who has his own website.
Okay. Yeah, Angus is the one who comes in and he'll post, like his post will be on Whiskey Fun. And actually I think
Ruben is Whiskey Notes.
Okay. Whiskey Notes.
Yeah, that 17 is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think I would go with that 17 second. It's like interchangeable between these two, but I think I like the fruitiness more of the 17.
Yeah. The tropical fruit notes in this are really good.
Yeah.
Really good ex-bourbon casks. Whatever they used, whatever distillery they got it from, they source pretty good stuff, I think.
This 21 is like super, super briny. It's got to be because of the fact that they use the Fino casks.
That's Fino. Mm-hmm.
Because Fino tends to be super salty as well. So, because it's got that like, I don't want to call it mold, but it's like a layer of fleur de something or other. They call it. I can't remember what they call it, but it's like a layer of what looks like mold to keep the wine from like continuing to ferment or something like along those lines. Fino has it, and I think it's Manzanilla that has it as well.
Interesting. Cool.
I think that's about an hour now. I hope you guys had a good time. We're going to narrow this down a little bit, or at least give you guys some bullet points to go by if you want to rewatch this and see how we scored things and how we did it. Because there was a lot of jabbering in between.
A lot of analyzing, analytical comments. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this is the first time I've tried these sober.
Yeah, right?
So I really had to figure it out.
Yeah. Well, it gave us a good opportunity. And you know what? I love tasting whiskeys this way, especially from the same range, because it gives you an opportunity to respect the process.
Sure.
You know? Even though the 17 and 21 came out before the 15 and 18, you can still appreciate what age does before they're bottled. Whiskey Talk asked an interesting question I just wanted to get to real quick. Where was that? How did I miss it?
So I think about the 2018 cartridge.
Yeah. We can both speak to that, but you go ahead.
I reviewed it. I forget what I scored it, but I liked it.
Yeah, it was good.
I liked it a lot better than the cask strength quarter cask. The 2019 is going to be a cask strength triple wood.
That's interesting. That
one should be coming out actually really, really soon. If not, it could be out already, maybe UK.
If you're in Ontario, I think the Pheno just re-hit shelves.
Yeah, I saw the LCBO has some in stock if you missed it on the Pheno. For the LCBO price, what is it, 115, 120?
It's not expensive.
It's worthwhile picking up.
Yeah.
It is worthwhile picking up for that price.
Yeah.
For sure.
And that's it. Jeremy, why don't you restate what's happening tomorrow, because that's an important day.
Tomorrow night on my channel, live show. Lots of awesome giveaways. We are cracking 2 Broras. Jasper is bringing his Brora 35. I have a Brora 38. We're going to be opening those. I'm giving away a sample of a Brora 38 plus a low ton of other giveaways, including full bottles, glasses, more samples. It's going to be a pretty epic live show. So if you're available tomorrow night, 9:00 p.m. Eastern time, check it out. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Rob's going to be there. Narby from Malt Reviews. Jasper's coming over, like I said, and our good friend Devin from Spirit and Oak, he's going to be on board as well.
Yeah. And then you can catch Spirit and Oak on Instagram.
Check out his Instagram. He also has a website, spiritandoak.com. He has a weekly newsletter. Just it's an easy 2-minute read, just anything booze related, Scotch, beer, bourbon, whatever. Quick little update on whiskey news, alcohol news in general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining in. You guys are all awesome. I had a good time. This was fun.
Yeah. Thanks to Jasper for all these bottles.
Yeah. Jasper is the man. He's like, we're secretly becoming Jasper's bitch, basically, because he just gives us his bottles. We're like his whores. But thank you, Jasper. Thanks everyone that joined in the chat. You guys are awesome. Hopefully I'll see every single one of you tomorrow on Jeremy's live. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Cheers, guys. Have a good one.
Cheers.